Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the tort of detinue. A tort is essentially a civil wrong. Now, what is detinue? Detinue is a cause of action, which essentially means you take somebody's belongings or things and you refuse to give it back when they ask for it back. A detinue action may be brought by a person who has the right to immediate possession of the item. What is immediate possession? Immediate possession means the legal right to take control of the item. For example, I sign a tenancy agreement for this office. Okay, so I am the official tenant. I have the right to immediate possession of this office. Let's take another example. I paid for this bottle of wine. I paid for it. I have the receipt. So I have the right to immediate possession of this bottle of wine. Because the tort of detinue comprises both the element of wrongful detention means you detain, you keep something, and the refusal to deliver the item, to give it back, it is important that a demand for the return of the goods is made before you can commence this action for detinue. The English case of Clayton and Leroy set down this principle that is an essential element, is an essential ingredient of the tort of detinue, that there has to be a demand for the return of the item before the claimant can sue for detinue. The plaintiff's wish to recover the property, the item, constitutes the main reason for pleading this tort of detinue at common law, because a court may only order the specific delivery of the asset in a claim for detinue and not for conversion. Conversion is another tort where you take somebody else's thing, not belonging to you, and you convert it in some way. For example, you make modifications to it, or you sell it to someone. That's conversion. But when you take something and refuse to give it back, the remedy, the tort that you should sue on is detinue, because for detinue is the only tort where the court may order delivery of the specific item that you want back. So why do people sue under detinue? Because they want back the specific item. For example, a precious violin, an antique vase, family heirlooms, a coin collection. So the orthodox remedy for a claim under detinue is the court ordering the defendant to return the specific property. However, sometimes it's not possible to order the return of the specific property because the specific property may have been stolen, it may have been destroyed, it may have deteriorated until there's no point asking for it back. The Singapore Court of Appeal in ASUS System and Yenti Lili set out the approach to be taken in assessing damages for detinue. In this case, Yenti Lili sued ASUS for the return of mobile platforms on the site of ASUS projects. Basically, ASUS had certain projects, okay, and they hired certain platforms, mobile platforms from Yenti Lili. And when requested to return the mobile platforms, ASUS refused to do so. So the Singapore Court of Appeal in this case laid out two principles to consider when determining the quantum of damages to be awarded to the plaintiff. The first principle is called the compensation principle. The compensation principle prescribes that where a tortious wrong is committed by the defendant, okay, the person being sued, the person who took the thing but refused to give it back, the plaintiff ought to be put in the same position as if the wrong had not been committed, so it compensates the victim. The second principle for the award of damages under detinue is called the user principle. In this case, damages are awarded where there has been a wrongful detention of the plaintiff's goods by the defendant, and it ought to be measured by reference to the benefit which had accrued to the defendant, namely the market hire or the market value of the goods. And the lack of actual use does not suffice, it's not sufficient to negate the existence of such a benefit. So under the user, let me give you an example of the user principle. I am an events company, okay? I organize concerts. So I rent some audio equipment from the plaintiff for $10,000 a day. After the end of the rental contract, okay, when it's time to return the audio equipment, I refuse to return the audio equipment. And I continue using it for other concerts. So, if the plaintiff sues me for detinue, the return of the audio equipment, the user principle, under the user principle, the damages awarded would be the cost per day of that I use the audio equipment. So, for example, if I rent the equipment for $10,000 a day, and after the date when I'm supposed to return the audio equipment, I refuse to, the damages would be $10,000 per day for each day that I do not return the audio equipment. So thanks for watching this video on Detinue.